Boreas V2 from Augvape. Let's have a go. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this, the Boreas V2 from Augvape, 24mm wide, comes with a 5mm capacity glass tank, and comes with a 2mm capacity glass tank. Presumably what they're going to do for the UK TPD version is they're going to put it with the 2mm as standard and put a little sticker on the box with the warning that you have to do for the TPD. So in theory, potentially TPD compliant, 2mm tank available and 5mm glass tank available in the box. It's a follow-up to the V1 Boreas, which was a big 25mm cloud machine of an RTA. I was very, very fond of it, but it never really got much traction, I don't think. I don't think it was that popular, that widely picked up, but I actually really liked it. I thought it was a very nice tank that you could do crazy power on and get tremendous flavour. So this is the follow-up. It's a little bit thinner, it's a little bit better looking, it's a lot better looking if we're being honest. It's available in gold, stainless steel and black. And yeah, it's got a 2-post design that I'll show you down low, and a very particular wicking strategy required for this as well, which again I'll go into when we go down low. Vaping a bit like this. Let's go down low and have a peek at the Boreas V2. Okay guys, here we are up close with the Boreas V2 from Augvape. Comes in the fancy tube, authenticity there. Opening up the tube, you get the tank straight away, you get a little Allen key. Let's come back to the tank. Inside here you get a spare glass tank that's the same as the one you've got and some spares. But you also get, if you keep delving down, you get a little 2mm tank as well. So if you want to ride it really low profile, you can do that. I don't think that will make it TPD compliant, simply because it's not in it as standard and there's no warnings on the box. Okay, so here we are with the Boreas V2 RTA from Augvape. It's got this sort of knurled drip tip thing going on, but it does pull out. It's a little goon fixture. So that's the thing. You've got your knurled top fill as well here. Just unscrewing that. Opens up the top fill, which is lovely. So we'll tighten that back on. You've got your glass tank then, and you've got your adjustable airflow here, and it's the same on both sides. If we turn it upside down, now this is an interesting one because it actually takes apart slightly differently to what you would expect. So it has this bottom bit here, this bottom piece, and you put that to one side and then you can pull this out. So that is an interesting way of doing it. I will show you the deck now. Okay, so this is the deck. It's actually not that big for quite a big tank. I've got some beefy coils in here though, and they do fit fine. What I will do now, you've had a good look at this. Obviously, it's the 2-post setup, and you just do your little grub screws on the side there, like that. And then you've got your wicking. You just channel each bit of cotton down into the little grooves, and yeah, so it wicks like that. I'll wick it up now so you can have a look. Okay, I've now wicked it up like this. What you want to do is make sure that you know, it's not too much cotton in there. Too much cotton and you will choke this right off. Get your wicks as fluffy and as thin, you know, and as wiry as you can. And then don't poke them all the way down these channels. Just sort of lay them over, let them poke down a little bit, but not a lot. If you're under 45 watts, under 50 watts, then you can poke it down a bit more, you can use a bit more cotton. But if you're wanting to get maximum wicking speed out of this, this is how you have to do it, which we'll talk about a bit more up top. But that is it wicked up. So what you have to do now is you have to line up the tabs on here, on there, you have to line those up with the sides of the deck, so you can see that is nicely in place. You spin this around, and this should spin freely and tighten up freely, whilst the rest of the tank stays where it is. When it's to the top, you are done, ready to go, ready to vape. I'll fill it up and I'll see you up top. Okay guys, that was the Boreas V2 from Augvape down low. A very interesting tank, a real change to the way the deck and the wicking worked on the previous one. They've kind of just ripped that up and gone for a brand new RTA, but following the name. Not a big fan of companies that keep the name of a tank but radically change it, because it's tricky for the people that love the first one as to whether they're interested in the second one. That being said though, when you get this wicked correctly, it is a tremendous performer. I'm at 66.6 watts with my 0.2 build, and it's chucking clouds, very, very tasty clouds indeed. So it's an interesting one. The wicking is the absolute key to this. If you put too much cotton in there, it doesn't wick well enough to do the high power. If you don't fluff it up enough, you don't keep it loose enough, you put it too far down, it won't wick well enough for you. If you do it like I did at the end of the up close section, it should be spot on. You want as little cotton as you can get away with. You want it all fluffed out, tickle your wicks, as Dean would say. Get them all fluffed up, really loose, as wiry as fine as you can, and then you just placing it over those holes. It has to be fully covering all those holes, otherwise, you know, you're going to get leaking. It's going to go too far the other way. But get it covering those holes and you will get it performing very, very well. It might take you a couple of goes. It's one of those RTAs where you've got to have a couple of goes. So overall, you know, get it wicking right, the flavour and the vape quality is superb. I think it's very good looking. I like that it's got knurling in the right places. I like that it fits goon tips. You know, I think the airflow works well. Once you get the hang of putting the deck back on the latches, no problems there. And the only other thing I would say that does need pointing out, it's one of those tanks where when you fill it up, you need to give it a vape straight away. It's one of those tanks that completely loses its vacuum when you take the top off to fill it. So as soon as you've filled it, screw it back on and take 3 or 4 good drags just to get the vacuum back in there, just to get it all tightened up again. Otherwise, you know, it will seep out. A tiny bit will seep out. But yeah, just get it filled up, get the lid on, and give it a good vape, and you should be absolutely fine. So, available in a range of colours. 24mm wide, 5mm capacity or 2mm capacity depending on the glass that you select. It's got that 2-post design. Wicking we have covered. Flavour and vape quality is superb. It's not really got too much in common with the original Boreas. If you know, this one really, I don't think I could get to wick well enough to go above 70 watts. I think that would be my absolute limit with this. I think, you know, 4 or 5 over 70 watt drags, and I think it would dry up too fast. Whereas the V1, you know, you could go crazy wattage. It was such a fast wicking thing. Almost too fast for some people. So, you know, so not too similar to the original at all, but a very nice RTA in its own right. You can, with this as well, put a much more sensible build in and go for a much lower wattage vape. The airflow isn't humongous, and you can turn it down and you can have a very, very nice 30 to 50 watt vape with this, whereas you couldn't so much with the previous big V1. So a pretty nice RTA if you're in that 30 to 60, 70 watt range with your RTAs. I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to like the flavour and the vapour quality once you've got the wicking spot on. I've got to say, I'm enjoying it, and I don't put custards in that many RTAs these days, but it is absolutely rocking. Very clean, very crisp flavour with these custards in here. So Really good once you've got it going. That's as is the way with RTAs. If you're someone that gets very frustrated with RTAs very quickly, maybe not the one for you. If you're prepared to take the time, get it all nailed up right, I think you will enjoy this tank. I've been Vick, and I'll see you again soon.